I presume, Your Excellency, they perished in the elevator.
You presume. Find them.
I've heard chatter about this private initiative of yours.
The disc.
Knowing that Jeff Bridges was going to be doing Tron again was so exciting. He's one of the great actors of our time, and he's a lot of people's favorite actor, you know, not just because of his talent, but also because of what comes across in his personality as well.
Of course, you're right. Enjoy the drink.
It's been such a joy. I mean, watching him, learning from him. He's so unique in that he takes a risk with every line. He never does anything the same way twice.
Move!
And takes every scene very seriously, even if we're picking up a shot where the three of us are walking down the staircase. You know, he really takes it seriously, wants to know everything about where we've been, where we're going, what the stakes are. All good questions a good actor should ask, but sometimes at 5:30 in the morning, the lazy ones of us sort of let things slide, and never, Jeff, never.
And then I would do that same movement again without the disc. You know, just go, you know, like that, you know.
I've always been so inspired by everything he's done. I always enjoy his characters, and I've always enjoyed his off-camera persona, and just thought he was such a unique kind of cat, man. And watching somebody that's been doing this for so long and has had so many great performances, to just see the amount of hard work that he puts into every sort of detail is something that makes you better going on to your next project.
I was paged last night.
Oh, man, still rocking the pager. Good for you, Howard.
Well, your dad once told me I had to sleep with the thing, so I still do.
Bruce Boxleitner obviously plays Tron in the original. He also played Alan Bradley. We've kept his character in this film as well, and he plays a very important role in kind of sending Sam on this journey.
It's an absolute treat for me because I really didn't expect it, and this was long rumored.
Sam, 2 nights before he disappeared, he came to my house. I've cracked it, he kept saying.
My agent said they're interested in watching you for the movie Tron. I went, I can't believe it. That's the first thing I said. No, you've got to be kidding me.
He wouldn't leave that, Sam. He wouldn't leave you.
I think where I help is I'm kind of part of that conduit to the past.
Hey, it's me, Flynn! Flynn! Yeah, greetings, program. It was like a long weekend. You know, we kind of picked up where we left off. Oh! We had a lot of fun on the first one.
I hadn't seen Jeff in a while, and we all got together for dinner one night, and it was just like we hadn't left. You know, he calls me Tronsky, and I call him the Flinster.
And it's always great to join up again with your old compadres, you know, that you worked with in the past. So that was another big plus that, you know, both Bruce and Steven were going to be in it.
The feeling of the sort of 3 amigos of cyberspace reunited. I think we're all glad to be alive to see it. I'm glad they didn't wait another 20 years for the sequel.
It was great to see those guys together, you know, reminiscing about the old times, but also to see their enthusiasm for this movie and knowing that, you know, we were on the right track.
You're here. You're here.
It's a hard role to fill, you know, to play the son of Kevin Flynn, the son of Jeff Bridges. You need to have that unique combination of intelligence, wit, and humor, and a certain look and a certain physicality. And I think Garrett just embodies all those things.
We're one of those movies, we did a worldwide search, read hundreds of actors, met dozens, screen tested multiple, big names, people you never heard of, people who'd come just straight off the street. And, you know, Garrett won a pretty Darwinian process.
Sam, take the turret. Oh, he's a wonderful guy and perfect for this role. One of the first things I remember talking to him about over lunch, I think even before he got the part, was how he got into acting. And he was saying basically he was, you know, kind of playing pretend when I was a kid. And I said, oh, I can relate to that. That's kind of that's my path as well, you know. And so he has a great sense of play and excitement in doing all of these, you know, the stuff that he has to do. And he's trained for hours and hours, months on doing all the things that his character has to do in the movie.
3, 2, 1, go!
The benefit I'd had on this film was to go through an intense amount of training, not just for physical sort of, you know, benefits, but for just overall, you know, we'd had to spend a couple months prepping the abilities to do some of these jumps over cars just in one quick dash. Very first scene that we had to shoot on this film, we closed down downtown Vancouver and shot me sort of in a parachute harness coming down from the top of the ENCOM building, you know, at night doing a base jump, landing in the middle of the street. I mean, that's very exciting.
It's constantly being put up in a rig and then, you know, in a harness, someone forgets about him, he flips upside down, flips back.
All right, very, very nice. How's that for you, Garrett? It looked awesome.
Hey, you got to bring me in a little hotter that time. But having to deal with the harness work and being hung up there for, you know, hours and hours and hours. And Jeff Bridges loves to tell us about how that was just a long, arduous journey as well, filming the first Tron. I mean, you know, having to walk around in those suits at that time and how uncomfortable they were. But, you know, now he sees us and he's just like, oh, man.
My only regret is that we haven't been able to play a little more music together. He plays guitar and I play guitar, and we're kind of like ships passing in the night. You know, our characters are working either at the same time or not working on that day. But he's wonderful in the film.
I have to give Olivia a lot of credit. We also went through a pretty long process in trying to find Quorra.
There's someone I once knew, a program named Zeus who fought alongside the ISOs. They say he can get anyone, anywhere.
Olivia is a funny thing. The casting director of at Disney sent me her headshot, and I brought her in, and she was the first actress I met. I ended up meeting, you know, 50 or 60 different actresses, and after that first meeting, I realized she just had that unique combination of qualities, you know, very smart, very funny, terrific actress, a stunning look that was kind of embody what I wanted Quorra to be. I like that look you have at the beginning, so in action, hold that for a couple seconds.
Before I see him.
Before you retract it, yeah.
Okay.
That's just a great look there.
Okay.
Good.
Very nice.
Joe was wonderful in wanting to create something new, something that didn't necessarily have to be the typical female lead, vixen, warrior character that we have seen quite a few times.
Jules Verne is my favorite. Do you know Jules Verne?
Sure.
What's he like?
She's had a sort of naivete, a childlike sensibility that Quorra would necessarily have, being this creature that is the next step in evolution, the only ISO, based on no programmer. You know, she just came out of nothing.
She had to do some amazing things as far as the physicality of her role, you know, to get in shape for that and to get ready for that. And it would be hard enough just to do it in normal clothes, but she has to do it in these suits that are all, you know, very tough to move around in, let alone, you know, do the leaps and the kicks and all this.
No. Olivia and I had met, you know, probably 7 years before we'd done this film, and it was at a point when I was doing my very first project, and she was doing her very first project.
I do all my own stunts. My stunt double.
Yeah, she's done all of her own stuff.
That's not true. We've been waiting to work together for a long time. We've known each other since we were 18.
You know, it's just so great for Tron to be able to go through this kind of, you know, this ride with her.
Your host, provider of any and all entertainments and diversions. At your service.
Mike turned out to be a huge Tron fan of the original, and he was really excited about playing his character.
There was a sort of a problem because I was so desperate to be in it
that there were absolutely no bargaining chips for my agents to deal with. So I had to, on the one hand, pretend that I was sort of unsure about this, and on the other hand, all I wanted to do was just like dive in.
But I needed, you know, I needed an actor that could bring a completely different energy into the film at that point, and just, I think, blew us all away with his performance. He just gave it his all.
I presume our understanding is still valid. Control of the city.
You will get the reward you deserve.
A sizable request, I know, but seemingly fitting compensation. Don't you think?
Michael Sheen, you know, really gives us some cred. Turns in an amazing performance.
When I look at your eyes, I'm actually always just like, I'm never really listening to what you're saying. I'm just like counting the corners of the hexagon in your eye.
That's nice. It's nice to know. It's nice to know when we're in a take that you're right there for me. If someone had come up to me when I was 11 as I came out of that cinema and said, 27 years later, you're going to be in the sequel to this film, it would just be extraordinary, you know. I'm still, now to this day, sitting here in Flynn's arcade, I'm like on the edge of freaking out all the time. I've got such confidence in our scenes.
Let's split, man.
I think that Sean, Bailey, and Joe have done an amazing job finding the talent that we've got. And I think it's great that Jeff is back, Bruce is back, and it feels like a really powerful cast.